Very good morning to you. Welcome back to this page. My name is Shankari, and I am a healing and inner transformation coach. So, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something slightly controversial. Um, if you have been on the healing journey for a while, if you have been on this path for a while, you may be familiar with the idea or the theory, as you will, that if you are on this healing journey, your relationships may be challenged, and you'll lose your friends, or you'll kind of the friends you've known for a long while, or the friends, your best friends, and things like that. You will kind of break away from those relationships, and I would like to discuss about this because there is a big misconception on why this is happening and what is really at the core of this. Yes, it is very easy and very simple to say that, I am growing, I am evolving, my healing journey has somehow heightened my experience, and now I can't speak to this and this person because they don't understand me, or I can't, I don't resonate with this friend anymore. It even goes to the extent that we lose a lot of relationships within our family as well. We have that friction developing within our family as well, and it is not because that your frequency has evolved or heightened and they are still at the same level. That makes no difference spiritually. That makes no difference because we are all, at the end of the day, human beings. We all need to be able to connect to other people, no matter who they are. Yes, you have people who will understand you, but you will also have people who do not understand you yet, and it may take them some time to understand you. Um, but it will look like in the beginning that your friends no longer do, or your loved ones no longer do. It may look like that there is more friction than it used to be, and it will look like that you are losing that connection with people. And this, when people come to this stage, when we find ourselves here, it is heartbreaking. It is completely and totally heartbreaking because we somehow feel like we're now an island and there is no way of connecting to other people. So, the first thing that is happening is that one, you're becoming more sensitive. You're just becoming more sensitive. And what you are actually experiencing is you're sensing the contrast between your own internal experience and the experience of the other person you're trying to relate to. So, yes, there is a difference, but that is the contrast. It is not that we tend to see things as, if you're on a healing journey, if you're on a healing path, that your frequency is elevating, it's increasing, and someone else who is not on that path, or someone else who chooses to live life differently, is, horizontally maintaining their frequency. Yes, in some ways that is true, but from the perspective of universal consciousness or cosmic consciousness, this is not exactly the case. Frequencies are not in that definitive or absolute realms. What is happening is that we are sensing the contrast. We are sensing the contrast between our experience and someone else's experience. The second thing that is happening is that that contrast is becoming more prominent, not because the gap has increased, but because your sensitivity to it has increased. So, if you have, it's just like peeling layers of skin, from your finger. If you're peeling a few layers, if you just keep your finger as it is, and you bring a knife to it or something, or you put it above a flame, the the sensations you get, you know, it may be hot, but it's not that hot. But imagine peeling a few layers of skin and now putting your finger above that flame again. What How does it feel? You're more sensitive, so you will feel it more intensely. That is what's happening. That is exactly what's happening when we are on the healing path, when we are on the inner transformation journey of personal development, when we are building our strength. A lot of what happens in the beginning is a detox. We are stripping away layers and layers of learned and adapted energies, experiences, trauma, whatever it is. You are stripping away all these layers one by one. And when you strip those layers, just as you would your skin, you become more sensitive. You become more aware of different frequencies. Oh, this feels a certain way. No, that feels a certain way. What you are just aware. There is nothing else happening. You are just aware. And it is the depth of awareness that is increasing. That is the frequency that is increasing, the depth and the awareness of it. It is not that your frequency has elevated, is that there is now a greater depth, a greater awareness of it. So if you are short-sighted like me and you can see only close by, and you without your glasses, you don't see as much, right? You see maybe a few meters in front of you and that's it. But if you put your glasses on, you can see further and you can see clearer. So that is what's happening. You can see further, you can see clearer. But instead of sight as your sense, your emotions are your sense. Your mental body is your sensory organ. So now you know what someone else is thinking, or you begin to develop the intuitive capability to see what someone else is thinking, or how they are behaving, or what is their response or reaction to something. So it becomes less and less and it becomes less and less. They are not able so much to hide things from you, in the sense that you see these, you see through the clutter, you see through the layers of superficiality, say. So why is this happening? If you're going through a healing journey, you're doing all the work, you are purging all the negativity or all the layers of trauma or negative experiences. Why is this happening? That you would experience friction with loved ones. This is the worst, friction with your loved ones. You would experience people moving away from you. One, it is a personal choice. They also have a stake in the matter, so it is also partly, half of it is up to them. Sometimes they don't. They are not at the choice point yet where they would decide to meet you where you are. But the thing is, you have the power to meet them where they are. And it does not do anything to your ability to heal. It does not do anything to your ability to evolve. In fact, it enhances it. So, what's happening? You are finding a new way to relate to someone. That is your spiritual growth. That is the inner transformation that is taking place. So when we relate to people, when we are connecting to other people, and this goes for any relationship that you are in, we are connecting to them at different levels. We are connecting, if you have a partner, you're connecting to them physically, you're connecting to them emotionally, mentally, and on a higher intuitive level, spiritually. If you have children, you're also connecting to them physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Physically, you're hugging your child. If you have a baby, you're breastfeeding, you are giving your physical energy. So we are constantly connecting to people on all these levels simultaneously. But for most of us, we are not aware that this energy transaction is taking place. We're only aware of parts of it. So let's say you're holding someone's hand, you're only aware of the aspect of holding their hand. If you have a best friend, you're talking about everything you love in the world and the concert you've been to and whatever, then you're connecting to them at that emotional, mental level. So, but at the same time, there is a lot of energy transference. When you are on this healing journey, when you feel like you can't relate to people anymore, what is happening is your energy and their energy is trying to find a new equilibrium. You are becoming more aware. They may or may not be becoming more aware. They may be on the path, they may not be on the path, but it doesn't matter. So you are becoming more aware, you are becoming more sensitive, they are resonating to the changes as well. So again, here they can choose whether they would like to be with you or they would, you know, just leave or choose other friends. But most of the time, it is not as drastic. So most of the time, they still remain. It's just that you can resolve that tension. You can resolve the conflict because you are aware. You are more aware and you are a conscious being. You know now that, okay, I'm facing this friction, these things are happening, and what do I do? So, what is happening is you're finding a new way to relate to them. You're finding that new equilibrium. So, instead of, um, let's say you have a friend, hey bro, what you doing? You know, how's life, whatever. Now you're seeing them as a soul instead of just a friend. You're recognizing them as a conscious being. You're recognizing them as a conscious being with all these different experiences molded into their being. So they are also evolving, they're also growing, they're also going through experiences, some good, some bad, some happy, some sad. So you have to accommodate all of that. And this is the challenge. For any person on an inner transformation journey, connection and relationship is one of the biggest challenges. Why? Because we are on earth and everything in our life is about relationship. We relate to everything because we are relational beings. Relationship is the fundamental aspect of our being. We are in a relationship with ourselves. We don't know ourselves just as us. We relate to ourselves and then begin a process of uncovering and realizing ourselves. In the same way, we relate to other people and then we begin the process of uncovering all the elements that is just the experiential part of their being and moving into their core, their soul, their essence, whatever it is you choose to see it as. So find that new equilibrium, find that new point of reference where you can connect to them. So the way I learned, the way I was taught in my school of learning, um, how to a big part of my learning, my training, was to develop and heal relationships. It's fundamental. Why? Because it is everything, just like I just said. So, whenever we do spiritual work, whenever we do healing work, this is, as a healer, this is what we need to do. If we don't do it, which I didn't do for a long time because I couldn't understand it, um, it took me several years to figure it out. And it took me even longer than that to kind of build that pathway towards developing those relationships, because like everyone else, I saw my relationships begin to fade away. I saw people leave my life. I saw friction develop so heavily with my loved ones, with my family. So I know how heartbreaking it can be. I also know that it is not what in the spiritual community is being said. No, you have to leave your family. You have to, you have to leave your loved ones. It will all go away. No, it's not like that. You just find a different reference point, a different set point to relate to them. That's it. So when we are healing emotionally. When we are healing emotionally, we are healing relationally. And if you are healing family experiences, you will develop friction within your family, with family members, right? Whether it's your parents or your siblings, it doesn't matter. Then there is work to be done. When you see friction, there is a lot of work to be done. So it's time to get cracking. The first thing to do is to heal that aspect or that friction. So let's say someone is not like you have a family member who doesn't understand what you're doing, or a family member who has a different opinion about how to heal. Let's say that's very common too. Why you doing healing? You everything is fine with you. You don't have any anxiety. You're completely fine. Yeah, a lot of family members say that, but so this is the case. How does that make you feel? Where, why does it bother? Like what in that conversation, or what about that makes you upset? So go down to the detail. Why does it make you upset? What about it makes you upset? How does it make you upset? Then heal that portion. So I won't go into the healing bit of it, because that's a whole other topic. But heal that portion. When you heal that portion, when you work on that portion, that's the first thing. The second thing, forgiveness of the other person. Maybe they did something and made you feel angry. Forgive them. You have to forgive them. It doesn't matter what you do to forgive, find a way to forgive. Everyone's journey into forgiveness is very different, but and it's what do you call it? You stagger your way to it. You develop it incrementally. You can't forgive 100% immediately. Sometimes, if the hurt was significant, then slowly. I forgive 50% today. I forgive 70% tomorrow. The understanding, the thing that aids forgiveness, is that knowing you are evolving, you are growing, you have also made mistakes, you may have also hurt them. This is a very open perspective, because if they can hurt you, you have also hurt them in some way. So I know sometimes it's difficult to accept that. That's why I said stagger your way to it, because you can't achieve this just in one day for most of us. So they hurt me, heal that. When you heal that, you will get to a place where you can say, yes, I have also hurt them in this way, I think. So sit down consciously within yourself. You don't have to really tell them, but you can tell them or speak to them if you want. But if there is friction, continuous friction, then it might be advisable just to do this yourself first. So sit down consciously and tell them, I understand that you hurt me and I forgive you, because I understand that I'm also evolving, you are also evolving. I have made mistakes, you have also made mistakes, but I forgive you of all your mistakes. So the way I was taught again was, forgiveness is two parts. There is inner forgiveness and there is outer forgiveness. This is very important. Inner forgiveness, outer forgiveness. Inner forgiveness to all, because inner forgiveness is for you. Inner forgiveness is for your soul, for yourself, that so that you have peace. Outer forgiveness is setting a boundary. Okay, I will not let someone hurt me when I can avoid the issue, when I don't have to let it, right? So set your boundary. This is my line. You can't come over to my house and shout at me, say. if that is if that is a problem. Sometimes it is, right? So out of forgiveness, for some, not all. So if this person is harmless, forgiveness inside and outside. If this person is not harmless, perhaps it's an abuser, then out of forgiveness and boundary setting. That's up to you. How you set your boundary, where you set your boundary, that's up to you. So forgiveness is very important. And third is nurturing that relationship. You have to keep nurturing that relationship. If you do this while you're meditating, fine. If you do this by bringing them a piece of chocolate cake every now and again, or baking them a cake or whatever, I love cake, so that's why. But whatever it is you can do, it is in your ability to do, to nurture that relationship, to nurture them. Do it. Do it and help them. So we have to cultivate our relationships. You can imagine yourself as a garden, right? As in your life as a garden. There are many plants. You have to keep tending to these plants if you want them to grow properly. If not, they'll just be taken over by weeds, and you have nothing. But we cannot just let everything be and then say that people have gone away from us, because then we have not done anything, right? Because I've done that many times. I have not nurtured the relationship, and then I've complained, why this person has, just left, and there's no resolution, I've been ghosted or whatever. So I didn't tend to it. And if it is their choice to leave, then it's their choice to leave, right? I have had friends who have left, and but because they want a different experience, and that's perfectly fine with me, right? Because they are happy. So I still forgive them if they have hurt me, and I bless them. This is the thing. How you nurture is your blessing. You're sending love to them. That's just it. You're sending love to them. You're giving them love in some way, whether it is through your meditation, and then you're just, after your meditation, you're just sending loving vibes, or it is actually physically doing something loving, giving them a hug, whatever you choose. So this is such an important topic. This is also a controversial topic, because I don't see many people talking about this aspect of it, because most of the time you say, okay, people leave, so what, and or we all doomed to be alone on this path. I've heard it so many times, and I feel so strongly about it, because we are not an island in a world full of 7.5 billion people. It is impossible for you to be alone. As a human being, it is impossible for you to be alone. You have to know that. It took me so long to figure it out. It took me so long to go through the experience of understanding this. You can't be alone. You have to nurture. You just have to nurture. And I'll just recap. You are relating to people differently. Instead of superficial, hey bro, how's it going, whatever, you are relating to people on a soul level, on a heart level. So how you see people, if you've seen the movie Avatar, this will be very you will understand this in a different way. In that movie, when the blue people, I can't remember what they're called, when they see someone, instead of saying hello, instead of saying how do you do, they say, I see you. What it really means is, I see your soul. I see you as a being, as a conscious being, and I see the conscious being within you. I recognize her or him, and I am here to look at you. So that is what they're saying. This is the set point. This is where you relate. This is how you are beginning to relate. If you are on this path, if you are awakening, or whatever you call it, it's just an inner transformation journey. It's just a personal development. It's just healing. So you can give it any name you like, but the experience is always the same. We all find ourselves here. And so you're relating to people differently. Find a new equilibrium, find a new way to relate to them, and then do whatever works. Say, I see you. You can even, a lot of people, a lot of us, when we see someone, we touch our hearts because we acknowledge with our heart their being. So this is a point of love. So then you hug, right? A lot of people hug. When you hug, you're touching heart to heart. So I acknowledge you with love. So this is it. This is it. It's not that you are abandoned. It's not that you're going to be alone for a while on this journey. You don't have to be. You're just finding a different way of relating to people. When you are conscious, the responsibility you have to create conscious relating is greater. You can run away from it for a while, but this will always come back to be a lesson because it is a collective consciousness we are awakening to, right? This is a big part. Our world has been so divided for such a long time. Relationship healing, you cannot run away from relationship healing. You can be on the spiritual path, you can be on the healing path, you can be on an awakening, and you can say, I'm going to be an aesthetic, I'm going to be a yogi, some people, and just run away. I'm renouncing the world. You will always come back. You will always come back. You know why? Because collectively, in the collective consciousness, relationship is a big concern. It's a big divide. It needs to be healed. So we will start to see a lot of people, no matter their background, no matter their identity, will be relating to people from a completely different background. This is in this way the collective consciousness of relationships and how we relate to people actually heals, changes, shifts, transforms. So I hope this helps. I hope this clarifies a little bit. And most of all, I hope it encourages you to not abandon this journey, to find a new way, to going at this instead of just giving up. Because I know if you can't heal relationships, it is heartbreak. And I know how painful that can be, and I don't want anyone else to go through that. So this is why I'm sharing this with you. I hope it serves. I hope it helps you. Thank you very much.